Rounding up the biggest Premier League transfer news going into the weekend, Arsenal have been very, very active. A quick one on their brand new defender, Christian Mosquera. He looks absolutely fantastic. 21 years old. He's played more minutes in his professional career than the likes of Garnacho, Yamal. These are household names. Mosquera coming from Valencia for £15 million is outrageous business. He's obviously going to compete with the likes of Saliba, Gabriel for a starting position in those centre-back positions. It's going to be hard, but I think he's more than capable of growing into a world-class centre-back, but also at right-back as well. So there's going to be a lot of people on Twitter saying that Arsenal signed another defender, but they needed to on some level, particularly going for multiple competitions next season. And Mosquera can fill in at right-back as well and offer a little bit of competition or support, however you look at it, for the likes of Jurrien Timber as well. I'm a big, big fan of this signing. He looks athletic. He looks like he can grow into a Premier League defender. And he's very, very calm and composed on the ball as well. Valencia are not a joke club. They're a massive institution, and he has been a Rolls Royce at centre-back mainly for them. It's a very, very good deal. Gyokeres coming in as well. I mean, there's a lot of positivity in North London. Now, AFTV is going into meltdown. When this guy lands, all of AFTV are going to be doing the Gyokeres mask. I won't be doing it on this channel, but it's a massive sign. It's a massive statement of intent. I still think after the Gyokeres signing happens, could happen as early as tomorrow, Saturday. Let's be completely real. They still need one more, whether that's a left winger. I know Madueke is coming. I think he's competition for the right winger spot. It's a left-sided attacking midfielder or a left winger or someone that can do both. Of course, Eze has been muted in recent weeks, but I think Gyokeres has a lot of competition with Havertz, Gabi Jesus, if he stays there as well. I think a little bit more for Arsenal, and they're basically done. I think it's been a very, very good transfer window if they can get one more over the line. But getting a number 9, absolutely massive. And on some level, it's great to see such a big, proven Premier League, European proven striker joining the Premier League. We're finally getting more top-level number 9s playing in this division. It is good for Premier League football that Arsenal have actually someone exciting up top as opposed to Kai Havertz, with all due respect. But there's a lot of activity at Arsenal. I've not talked about James Trafford and the Man City goalkeeper situation on this channel for the last few days because I'm not quite sure what was going to happen. Galatasaray came in for Ederson for a bid. It looked like Burnley might be trying to sign Ortega. Newcastle trying to sign James Trafford. It looks very likely now, from my understanding, Ederson will stay for another season. James Trafford will come in and compete with him for the number 1 spot at Man City. And Ortega could leave in the summer window. I think that makes a lot of sense. Ortega right now is far too good to be on the bench. He deserves to be starting for a big football club, probably bigger than Burnley. And James Trafford is one of the most outstanding young keepers in world football. Yes, he got relegated with Burnley, obviously, a couple of seasons ago. He's breaking records in English football history for a goalkeeper, for the amount of clean sheets he's had in a single season. I know it's the second division, but he was part of one of the meanest defences we've ever seen in the Championship, ever seen in English football history. And James Trafford was a massive part of that and part of England's success as well. And he knows the Man City Academy, and the deal itself is outrageously good value. I think if you're a Newcastle United fan, you must be absolutely gutted, because if you read it this way, that Newcastle have come in and bid for James Trafford at about £29 million. Before that, Man City were kind of having to buy him back at a fixed fee of £14 million in the contract. Because Newcastle bid £29 million, Man City have to match that as part of the contract, or he has to go to Newcastle United, and Man City have saved a little bit of money because of Newcastle's bid. That's my understanding, which is a little bit muggy if you're a Newcastle United fan. It's another player that isn't going to end up at St James's Park. And ultimately, if you look at the fee that Burnley paid for him a couple of years ago, which is about £14 million, City are getting one of the highest rated young keepers in world football for about £13 million. It makes a lot of sense. If he comes in and he absolutely takes over the mantle, then he could just be starting big games in the Premier League as early as, the end of August, September. If Ederson's maybe not up to it, maybe he starts a little bit ropey, I think James Trafford's more than good enough to even start now. I remember when I was a little bit younger, Shea Given, high rated keeper. Mancini came in and he saw Joe Hart, and he gave Joe Hart a massive debut at White Hart Lane against Tottenham Hotspur. And from then on in, obviously Joe Hart won multiple Premier League titles, and and Shea Given was coming to the end of his career. I think it's very similar. I think if James Trafford comes in, maybe he starts an early League Cup game, maybe he starts in Europe, and he does outstanding outstandingly well, particularly with his feet. It's all about distribution for Guardiola. If he's good with his feet, I think he'll just play every game. Seriously, I think there'll be less trust in Ederson after last season. That's my understanding. I think keep Ederson for the experience, and if it doesn't quite land, we don't know with James Trafford at this level. He didn't particularly do well, in my opinion, when Burnley were in the Premier League with Vincent Kompany. But leave your comments down below. And by the way, if you made it as far, make sure you subscribe. We have to talk about the Liverpool Isak situation. There's a tiny bit more news about it, which could be one of the most scintillating transfer rumours, potentially becoming a transfer in the history of the Premier League, because Newcastle want £150 million. But then we're seeing these rumours circulating today and going into the weekend. Larsson from Wolves, Sesko from Leipzig going into Newcastle as a potential Isak replacement. Obviously big, powerful strikers, haven't got the same kind of guile and skill and trickery as Isak. I think he'd obviously, if he left and those guys came in, it'd be a massive downgrade. That's how good Isak is, and Sesko is highly, highly rated. And I'm a big fan of Larsson. But if Newcastle United started with Larsson next season, wow. It's a completely different side. Let's be completely real. Isak won't be joining anyone else but Liverpool if he moves this summer. That's just how the reports are. Strange rumours of Manchester United and Chelsea having a look. Absolutely crazy. The first one, Man United. I mean, it is an actual downgrade. Man United are a bigger club than Newcastle United, but there's no way you move to Manchester United. No way. Even if they had the money, seriously. Maybe 5 years ago when Pogba went, Sanchez went, it was a different narrative with Mourinho, Zlatan was there. But now, absolutely not. And it was a bit embarrassing they were even linked, to be honest. Seriously, that's in my opinion. And Chelsea, it's the other way around. They could clearly afford him. If they stop going after £50 million kind of wild card signings, Neto, the money spent on Neto and Mudryk and Jackson, and you just add up all these average footballers. No world-class footballers in that Chelsea side except for Cole Palmer or Caicedo, arguably. They could have actually bid for Isak if they'd been a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit leaner in the transfer department. Then Isak becoming available, he moves to London. That makes a lot of sense, moving to Chelsea from Newcastle. It does. And it can't happen because, of course, Chelsea can't afford £150 million on top of what they've already got in terms of a tight budget. So those are just the latest reports. We have to stay on Chelsea because they are actually linked to someone for £60 million in Xavi Simons from Leipzig. This kid is absolutely fantastic. 22 years old. His numbers are just getting better and better. 11 goals last season and 33 appearances for Leipzig. 8 assists as well. 21 goals in 76 for Leipzig in total, with so many assists. 23 assists. This guy is the kind of talent that could become a world-class playmaker and be the face of football in his position in the next couple of years alongside Cole Palmer. Chelsea could have both. It's a good value. It's a good age. It's another one of those kind of Chelsea signings at that kind of great age. If it puts Cole Palmer, if it tinkers with Cole Palmer in any way, I don't back it, in my honest opinion. But if it's to rotate for Cole Palmer and actually provide a bit of squad depth so that Palmer's not playing every single game, then I do respect it. I do actually rate the transfer for £60 million. But do you see what I'm saying? A lot of these £60 million, £50 million fees that Chelsea are spending money on, they could have put it into actual world-class talent. Xavi Simons isn't a world-class player right now, but he could end up being one, of course. We have to wrap the video with Manchester United. Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, potentially being welcomed back. I think they're going to struggle to shift any of these guys. Maybe Garnacho because of the kind of ceiling that he has. But Sancho and Anthony, these guys could actually still be at Manchester United. Amram's come out and said that they're here to join the team. They'll join the team because they are our players. If the club doesn't get the right price, they will stay. I'm ready to receive the players. And that's just the facts of life. Mancini had to bring Tevez back from playing golf in Argentina. Sometimes you have to work with the tools at your disposal. And I don't know if beggars can be choosers. You might need Anthony to play right wing back in this clunky 3-4-3 system that I don't think quite works in the Premier League. You might need Garnacho to play on that left-hand kind of playmaker role if Cunha's injured. You might need a bit of these players, the expensive players that you've signed, to actually provide a bit of squad depth and a bit of kind of quality. I mean, Sancho, I think you could see him just getting loaned to Galatasaray. I could see that 1,000,000%, or Fenerbahce. But Anthony and Garnacho, I could see them both staying. I really could. And we have to just wrap with Son being linked to LA FC. That could be a very, very juicy move and a big one as well, because Son is an absolute superstar in South Korea. He's the David Beckham of South Korea. Going to LA, it's another one of these great moves for American football. Leave your comments down below. Did you enjoy this kind of video? A little bit more widespread of all the transfer rumors. Make sure you subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll see you very, very soon.